Hello friends, I am Prabodh Nayak here, and today I have taken this opportunity to meet all of you via this video. A lot of questions were asked when I cleared my CMA, and my friends and students were giving their exams, are rather giving their exams in the September-October window, as well as Jan-Feb window. Wanted to know how the preparations were made, what I had done during my preparation, how did I go through it, what was my journey. So instead of addressing individual students, I decided to come to all of you through this video, and I suppose this will serve the purpose of meeting with all of you and communicating with all of you and explaining my journey towards this particular profession. How did I achieve this? What went through? What is the procedure that I followed? So let us start with the first thing that all of us are interested in knowing, and that is, how did my CMA journey start? Yes, students, I was a professional in 2020 till 2020. Even now, I am a professional, working professional. And as you all know, in 2020, we were faced with the worst crisis we have ever faced in our life, where the entire world came to a standstill because of COVID-19. And because of this pandemic, which nobody expected, everybody suffered in some way or the other, monetarily, emotionally, professionally, job-wise. And this was a stage when I decided to do my CA. It was August 2020. I distinctly remember when we had been sitting at home for the last 6 months, right from March, April, and we were not having any income nor any job. Some of us were working from home, and up to a certain extent that was possible. Sometimes that was also not possible for some people. And at this point of time, in August 2020, I looked upon the 6 months that had passed, which was totally unproductive because of the pandemic. Our activities were reduced to just 5%, 10% of the actual activities that we are normally doing. And that was when I decided that sitting at home doing nothing is not going to serve the purpose. So I decided that I will put this time to the best possible way in which I can utilize it. And I decided to do some short-term courses which will have recognition also, and which will be completed, which can be completed within a short period of time also. As I was going through, I came across a number of institutions which offered a number of courses, and I hit upon 2 courses which appealed to me, which could be done within a short period of time, given the resources, given the time availability. And they were CMA and CPA, US CMA and US CPA. CPA, of course, had 4 papers to be given, which would take about a year or so. Whereas CMA had only 2 papers to be given, 2 exams to be given, which could be completed within 6 months. Since the pandemic was, it was totally unexpected. And at the same time, we did not know for how long it is going to last. I decided to first hit upon CMA, complete it within 6 months. And if the situation continues, I said I will go on to do my CPA also. In August 2020, I decided to join my CMA US course. What is this CMA US all about? It is different from the Indian CMA, where we have got inter-level and final level. 8 papers of the inter-level and 8 papers of the final level. CMA US can be completed by just writing 2 exams or two parts. So it can be completed within 6 months if you're doing regular and a continuous study, and if you're focused. What is the CMA US comprising of? It is a two-part course. Earlier it was a four-part course. Now it has been reduced to a two-part course, where in the first part we are having something called as financial planning, performance and analytics. In this we are having 6 sections to be covered. The first one is external financial reporting decisions. Second one is planning, budgeting and forecasting. Third one is performance management. Fourth is cost management. Fifth is internal control. And the sixth is technology and analytics. This is the part 1 of your CMA course. We have a second part also to the CMA course, which is strategic financial management. This part covers financial statement analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis, risk management, investment decisions, and professional ethics. So here again there are 6 sections. So part 1 comprises of 6 sections. Part 2 comprises of 6 sections. Now everybody was interested as to how I did my studies, because being a working professional, I had to maintain a balance between my work from home also, as well as my studies for CMA. So family life also. So how could I do this? Everybody wanted a quick response from me as soon as I cleared my exams. In July 2021, I was able to clear my exams, both parts. And I got a score of 400 out of 500 in each of the 2 parts. Part 1 also I got 400 out of 500. And the score in part 2 also was 400 out of 500. And a number of students who happened, some of them who happened to be my friends in the group, kept on asking me questions like, how did you do it? What is the time limit that you are taking? How much time does it take? Can we do it? So all these questions were asked. And some of them I was able to address them personally, those who called up, those who messaged. But there was many others whom I know I could not respond because there were so many messages. So I thought of an opportune time to get to all of you in one single shot. But I was waiting for, though my results had come, I was waiting for the certification from IMA so that I can call myself a certified CMA. And yes, friends, I've got my certification and my certification number. And I am a full-fledged, qualified, certified CMA. Now, the question that I want to address, which everybody has on their minds, is what did I do for my studies? How did I plan my studies? Friends, let me tell you one thing. Before you do any professional course, you should be having the fire in your belly to achieve something in life. It is not just another thing that you are going to do. Okay, if I pass, I pass. If I don't pass, I will not pass. You can't take it with a casual attitude. If you are doing a professional course, and that also an international professional course, you have to have the fire in the belly to achieve that course in the period of time. That is in the shortest possible period of time. And the second thing that you need to have is the focus once you join and take up the course. The focus and the determination that yes, I have it in me and I will do it. So you should be having the total focus on the objective, that is clearing the exams. The first attempt. Marks or the score doesn't make a difference once you are a qualified person. Yes, but every student would like to pass with flying colors, with the best possible marks, with the best possible score. For that, planning is necessary. And when I looked at the syllabus of the 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, I decided that part 2 was much more simpler and easier for me. It differs from person to person. You may decide that part one is simpler. Another person may decide that part two is simpler. So it was for me, part two was much more simpler for me. From the syllabus, it appeared to be much more simpler. Because strategic financial management was something which I was actually dealing with in day-to-day life also, my profession also. And I felt that I could handle that much more easily than part one. So I gave my part two exams in the month of Jan, and I scheduled my part one exam in the month of Feb. But unfortunately, after giving my part one exam in the month of Jan, in the month of Feb, the prometric center where I was supposed to do my exam was not available because of COVID-19. And I had to shift my exam. I had to transfer to another window. As a result, I could not give my exam in February, though I had scheduled it for February 2021. As soon as the second round of pandemic broke up, and for another 3 to 4 months, we were lying low. Then came the month of June, July, and I decided that I will now again enroll for, or rather register for, my exam in the month of July. And July was an extension of the June window. I registered for that and I was able to give my exam and clear it. Got my result by 11th or 12th of August. So now, what was my plan for doing my studies? How did I plan my studies? How many weeks did I plan, or how many months did I plan? As I told you, I'm a working professional and I hardly get time to devote entirely for studies. So I had to maintain a balance between my work and my studies. So the first thing that I did was plan the timing for the entire portion to be completed. So I planned for 9 weeks. Part 1, 9 weeks, part 2, 9 weeks. Okay. In part 1, as well as in part 2, out of the 9 weeks, 8 weeks I put in minimum about 3 to 4 hours per day. Now, it was not continuous 3 to 4 hours. This is one mistake that is normally made by students, that we tend to put in continuous hours, continuously 3 hours or continuously 4 hours. I don't think that is possible until unless we have the focus and the patience to sit for 3 to 4 hours. I don't have the patience nor the focus to sit for 3 to 4 hours continuously because of my job also. So what I used to do was, I used to get up, I have this habit of getting up early morning. So I used to start my studies somewhere around 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 to 7, 5 to 7:30, as much as you could stretch it, 5 to 8 sometimes. Sometimes not possible up to 8. So 2.5 hours in the morning and another hour or an hour and a half in the evening. Evenings was not actually possible because normally those who are working professionals, after working during the entire day, at the end of the day, sometimes we don't have the stamina and we don't have the willpower to continue for one more hour of studies. We just want to crash out. So I would normally suggest that those who are working, try to keep your timings in the morning only, because morning you are fresh. There is nobody to disturb you. Your mind is fresh and you can absorb maximum. The quality of time is important than the quantity of time. Maybe that the 3 hours that you put in the morning is better than the 4 hours that you are planning for the evening. So in the 8 weeks, out of the 9 weeks, the first 8 weeks, I put in about 3 to 4 hours of study per day. Sometimes it was 3, sometimes it was 4. And I managed to keep it around 24 hours per week. 24 hours per week. Now, after that, Sundays, I used to study for Monday to Saturday. Sundays, normally I used to keep it as a buffer. But in case I'm not able to complete my schedule of 24 hours during the week, then that extra surplus or the shortage of time that I had in the 6 days, I used to keep it for Sunday. But normally I used to avoid studying on Sunday because you need relaxation. It cannot be work and study continuously for all 7 days a month or 7 days a week and for 30 days a month. So you need a break. Your mind needs a break. You need to relax. So Sundays normally I used to relax. And only when the backlogs were there, that is of the 6 days, if there was a backlog, I could not complete 24 hours, then that used to spill over to Sunday. But otherwise, it was 3 to 4 days a week, a day, 3 to 4 hours a day, or 6 days a week. Sundays relaxation. In the last 1 week, I just totally cut off from all activities of mine, and I put in about 8 to 10 hours per day. And during these 8 to 10 hours, I used to do my essay questions. I used to do revision of the Wiley OTB. I used to do the essay questions. I used to do a lot of reading of the concepts again. I had made notes from the books that I had, and I used to go through my notes. I used to flag the questions which were not understood by me. So I used to return back to those flagged questions. So that was done in the last 1 week. That is the 9th week. Or you can say that it was a sort of a revision that I used to do in the last 1 week. And essay questions were done in the last 3 days. So 3 days into, you can say 10 hours, 30 hours I kept for essay questions, which I had done. But as I said, the study pattern will differ from person to person. If I have put in 3 to 4 hours per day, not necessarily that you should also put in 3 to 4 hours per day. If you feel that you can understand the same things earlier and you can absorb those things earlier, you can put in just 2 hours also. There are many people who are studying for 2 hours per day and they are getting through. It's all differing from individual to individual. So quality of studies, quality of time is more important than the quantity of time. Don't say that, okay, that person is studying for 6 hours, so I need to study for 6 hours. Not necessary. I may be able to understand the same thing within less period of time. So the study pattern will differ from person to person. I'm just giving you an idea as to what I had done. You may change depending upon your requirements. If you are not a professional, then you don't require to slog it out as much as I have done. You can take it easy. Even the 8 to 10 hours that I was doing in the last week, I never had that continuity of 8 to 10 hours. I used to take a break after every 2 hours. So I used to do it in slots of 2 hours. So 2 hours at a stretch, then take a break, then again 2 hours, then again a break. Like that, I used to have about 8 to 9 sessions, 4 to 5 sessions in a day. If it was 8 hours, then it was 4 sessions of 2 hours per day, per session. So like that, pace yourself out. Don't overdo it, because then there will be over exhaustion and you will feel tired, you will feel bored, you will get mentally fatigued. So that is not the aim. The aim is, the objective is to be fresh till the date of examination and to give your examination the best. Okay. Now, what is the procedure that I follow during those 8 to 9 weeks? The first thing that I did was, Wiley material was available. So I was referring to the Wiley material. So I started reading the Wiley material and underlining the important points, important notes, important concepts, and making notes of certain things which I felt needed to be revised at the last minute. So taking down notes in short form so that you can understand, so that you can revise at the last minute. That is very much essential, I think, because that makes you write something, write and learn. I always believed, and I still believe, that writing and learning creates a better impression in your mind and stays for a longer period of time than just reading the material and saying, okay, I know it. Because when you are writing something, you are conscious of what you are writing, and that registers in your mind much more deeply rather than just reading a material. After I completed each unit, okay, because every section is divided into several units. So after you complete each unit, I used to go to the Wiley OTB, that is the online test bank, and attempt the MCQs of that particular unit. So I used to do it unit wise. Okay, so complete a unit, let us say section A.1. So then A2, then A3, then A4. Like that, unit wise, I used to complete reading Wiley material, making notes, go to the OTB section, attempt the MCQs on that particular part, come out. After completing a particular section, let us say I complete section A, Then I used to again go back to the Wiley OTP, select questions at random, and attempt those questions. So friends, here I want to tell you that while you are attempting the Wiley OTP questions, if you are getting a score of 80% plus, then it's really great, because that means that you are really solid in your concepts. Okay, so an 80 plus is always going to guarantee you success. Not that if you score less, you will not clear the exam. But if you're scoring an 80 plus, you get that confidence that yes, I know it. And that confidence you carry in the examination. And that will help you to score or get a very good score in the examination. Even if your questions are difficult at the examination level, if your papers are tough at the examination level, that confidence will keep you up. Remember this point. 80 plus in your Wiley OTB, if you are scoring, you are sure to get a very good score in your actual examinations. Then in the last week, out of 9 weeks, 8 weeks you are studying. In the last week, I used to, as I told you, 8 to 10 hours per day, concentrating only on the important notes that I have prepared and essay questions. Do not ignore the essay questions, because that will be helping you sometimes to clear the exam. Because if you write that very, in a very conceptual manner, short and precise, answering to the point, then you get a good score, right? So this is what was my method of study. So I've told you the time that I've taken. I've told you the procedure that I've followed. Now, which institute did I do it from? Hey, which institute did you join? Some of you who are not, with me, and who want to know from where did I do this? How did I clear my CMA in the first attempt? How did I balance my job and this together? Which was the institute that helped me to do this? Of course, I would say the institute that helped me was, but of course, none other than, yes, you guessed it right, Miles. This was a place where I had joined for my CMA, and I completed my CMA with the help of the notes that they had provided, with the help of the Wiley material that they provided, with the help of Varun Jain sir's lectures, which was short and concise and helped you to understand. Even an undergraduate who is doing this will be able to understand, because he teaches in such a nice and simple manner. It's a beautiful way of teaching and is a simple way of explaining things. Makes even an undergraduate student understand the concepts, even though he's doing it for the first time. So it was Miles. Yes, Miles has taken me miles ahead, and it will take you miles ahead in your career also. Now, I wish to mention the names of 2 persons in the entire Miles team, other than Varun Jain sir, who helped me to cross this barrier. And without those 2 persons, I was totally helpless sometimes. And these 2 persons are, one is Janvi ma'am, was my student relationship manager, and the other one is Nikhil sir, both of whom who are there at all times to help me out in whatever problems I faced, and they ensure that nothing comes in between me and my success. So once again, thanks to Team Miles, thanks to Janvi ma'am, thanks to Nikhil sir, and thanks to Varun Jain sir. I would also like to tell you here that I have joined Miles for my CPA also, and I have started on my journey with CPA. Thanks, friends. Hope that this message finds you in the best of health, and I know that if you have the will, you can do any professional course. Just a little bit of planning is required, a little bit of focus is required, and a little bit of determination is required from your side. So believe in yourself, have the self-confidence, and go ahead. Join hands with Miles, and you will be sure to achieve success. Thank you. Have a nice day.